Hello friends, welcome back to this channel. I'm not sure where in the video this segment's gonna be, so this might be in the middle, and I'm so sorry that I'm doing a little introduction. But today we're gonna be talking about something super exciting, which is Broadway. Yes, I want to include this in this video because Broadway and musical theater and acting and just the entertainment industry of that area is a huge part of my life that I feel like I haven't really talked about on the channel. So I wanted to bring that to the forefront and let you guys know how much of a big role and a big part of my life this is. My experience with specifically Broadway has been in my life since I was a little kid. In my school district, if you did concert choir, the teacher at the time, he was really great, and he would take us to Manhattan and he would take us to see a Broadway show at the end of each year. The whole concert choir, all of us kids, literally in the middle of Manhattan, which sounds crazy to me, but he would take the time to do that with us, and it really changed my life. The first show I ever watched was West Side Story. If anyone here has ever seen that show, movie, or anything, that for a sixth grader, that changed my life. I was sobbing, I was happy, I was laughing, I was crying. It was a whole mix of emotions. It was a wonderful experience. I went later on to watch The Sister Act, and then I went on to watch Beautiful by Carole King, which, wow, that show, if you guys have not seen it, oh my gosh. All of these are not on Broadway anymore. Like, if anyone doesn't know, Broadway shows, they come for a time and then they leave Broadway and a new show comes in. But I'm so grateful I was able to watch these. In high school, my sister and I, that kind of became our bonding thing. We would go into the city because you guys know I live close. We would watch shows. I've watched Something Rotten, I have watched Wicked, I've watched Aladdin 3 times, and then I have seen Moulin Rouge. This show, I've seen this show in total of 11 times. Yeah. And it happened in a pretty short span as well, which was crazy. But I wanted to talk specifically about Moulin Rouge for a bit because this show really changed my life in the best way possible. I recently graduated college. Well, not so recently. I graduated in May of 2021. I am taking a couple gap years and doing a master's program, and I was going to work a full-time job at a pediatrics office until I applied to medical school. That was the plan. My master's program is literally the best thing ever. I love it so much. It is everything I could have wanted and more. However, my full-time job at the pediatrics office, on my head, I thought this is perfect, it's great. But as I was working there, I realized I started doing it more out of this outside pressure I felt on myself instead of doing it from my heart. That was really hard to come to terms with because I'm always an advocate, the biggest advocate of do what you love. Do what you love. Work hard and the rest will come. You don't need to do things that society expects you to do. You don't have to live a way that your parents, your siblings, your family members, they decide for you. No, you decide for yourself the life you want to live, and success is not defined by the amount of money you make or quote unquote prestigious job you have. No, it's defined by you and your happiness. If you like the life you're living, that's how I see it. You know, it's okay if you see it a different way, but that's the definition and the way I've always wanted to live my life. Every step in my career has fully been because I've decided to do that. I noticed at that job, I was devoting so much time to it and I really enjoyed a lot of aspects of it, but there was just so many voices in my head like screaming, we have other passions we want to do. We have other things we want to do. I've always wanted to start a YouTube channel. I've always wanted to start an Etsy business. I've always wanted to write my novels that I love writing. You know, I've mentioned before, I love to write and I love to read. I don't want it to be my sole career, because there are other things I'm passionate about, specifically medicine, but I still love to write and read. I love traveling. I love creating things with my hands like knitting and sewing. I love making content. I was ignoring all of that because I thought, oh, no, I'll do that later in my life if I want to. I can't do that now. Even though the voice inside of me was screaming that's what I wanted to do, I told myself, how am I going to leave my job? I can't do that. But why? Why couldn't I do that? Because I had suddenly put all this pressure on myself that my family would be upset, or what if someone asked me, oh, she graduated college, now what is she doing? Even though I'm in a master's program, my extended family, they kind of define your worth by what you're working, not really what you're studying. There's not a lot of emphasis on education. There's more emphasis on how much money you're making and what job you have. I'm not saying they're evil or wrong. It's different from the way my parent and me define things. I realized that I was staying there mostly because when people asked me what I was doing and I said I was working in a doctor's office, they were like, oh, that's great. And I didn't like that about myself. I'm ashamed to admit that it lasted for 6 months like this. But thankfully, for my sister's birthday, I took her to go watch Moulin Rouge. We were sitting in the audience. But Broadway shows in general are emotional for me, but I was sitting there and I looked up at these wonderful, talented performers, these wonderful, talented human beings who were living, honestly, their best life. I'm not saying their lives were perfect. I'm sure each one of them had their own things they were dealing with. I'm sure they worked so hard to get where they are. To be on Broadway in New York is not an easy feat. Along the way, I'm sure so many people told them, you're not going to do it, just give up, do something different. You know, maybe at some points in their lives, they weren't even making money. People were probably like, oh, what are you even doing? But they could care less because they wanted to do what they wanted to do. They wanted to do something they loved and they did it, and now they're there and they're so wonderful and talented. And I was sitting there, why do I keep telling myself, no, you can't do all these things? Why do I keep saying, no, you have to work this job? Because if people ask you what you're doing, you have to have an answer. And for so much of my life, that didn't matter. People asked me what they were doing and I would just smile, quickly give them something, because it didn't matter. I was living my life for me, not for them. And somewhere along the way after I graduated, even me, who was the biggest advocate for living your life the way you want to live it, I fell into the pit hole of like society's pressures and all these things. It was really rough coming to terms with that, processing that I wasn't living the life I wanted to live. But what was so beautiful about that, I was sitting in the show, all these emotions were coming, and I decided, no, I want something different, and that's okay. I don't have to be forced to do something I don't want to do. I can change that. And I did. I decided to start this YouTube channel. I decided to leave my job. It was the scariest, but also most exciting thing I've ever done, I feel like. Well, maybe not ever done, but it took a lot of guts. I told my mom, I remember, that I wanted to leave, and she gave me nothing but smiles and said, you know, I've noticed that you've not been as bright and cheery. You've been really sad, but, you know, I wanted you to live your life. And I couldn't have loved her more for that, because my parents respect me and my decisions. If they see I'm struggling, they offer support, but they never tell me what to do. They let me make my own choices. They let me make my own failures and successes. And I love that, because that's what life is, you know? It's my life, not theirs. And they fully support that. And it's wonderful. I love them so much for that. That's what I'm doing. I've decided to start an Etsy shop as well, because that's something I've always wanted to do as well. It will be linked in the description if you guys want to check that out. I've also decided to open up a Poshmark and sell a lot of my clothes and different things of mine. So if you guys want to check that out, that will be in the description as well. This YouTube channel is also something that I've started. I'm really excited on the things I'm working on. I love to write, so I'm not putting any pressure on myself. I am writing as it comes, but I did want to mention that because I don't want one day to me just announce that I have a blog and novels coming out and people are like, what? I didn't even know that about you. Yes, that is a huge passion of mine. I've always done that. I just haven't really publicized it to my family or anything like that. I know my mom knows that I love to write a lot, and my sisters and my dad and stuff, but my extended family don't really know how much I love to write. I'm sure they know how much I love to read, because that's all I really do. But I hope you guys are living the life you want to live. And if you're not, that's okay too. I kept telling myself I was. I just want everyone here to know that your life is in your control, whether you're young, whether you're old. You can live the life you want to live, even if it's hard, even if it takes time. There's no plan on how you should live your life. There's this idea that when you're 20, you're supposed to go to college, get a job. Your mid and late 20s, you need to find someone, get married. In your 30s or late 20s, you have kids, and so on and so forth. And that's great. If people want to do that, fantastic. Good for you. A+, you know? But for other people, that's not necessarily the case, and that's okay. You don't have to live your life according to this arbitrary plan. And I know that, and yet still, I struggle with it all the time. But thankfully, there are things in my life like watching Moulin Rouge. You don't have to live your life according to an arbitrary plan. And I hope for whoever also agrees with that, but maybe have forgotten like I did, or gotten a little lost along the way, that this video helps you with that and reminds you that. Live the life you want to live. If someone else isn't proud of the life you live, that's okay. They're not supposed to be. You have to be proud. It's us that have to be in love with the way we live our lives. And that doesn't mean that our life is going to be perfect at every second. Absolutely not. Life is crazy, and a bunch of unexpected things happen all the time. What we do, who we spend our time with, that's us. We get to choose that. That's really deep. I know some people probably are like, okay, I go to watch a Broadway show and I just watch it and it's really nice to see people dancing and that's it. I don't know why you're having this huge deep talk revelation thing that you're doing. I know, maybe I'm being the drama, but this is what Broadway means to me. It doesn't have to mean that for you. When I go watch it and see these wonderful human beings pouring their heart and soul into the performance, that's what it fills me with, just this inspiration and awe and gratitude and the feeling of being privileged to be able to sit there and watch them be amazing. And it inspires me to also, you know, carve out the life I want to live. Being on Broadway in New York, yes, once you're there, people respect you and everything, but the path to getting there, a lot of the times it's years of mishaps and misstep, not having enough to pay rent. Or maybe for, you know, some people, I'm sure that's not their journey, but for a lot of people it is. I want to be an example that you don't have to just do one thing. It's okay to be a doctor and also be a writer. It's okay to be a doctor and also own an Etsy shop. It's okay to be into interior design, but also love science. All of these things are okay. You don't have to be just one thing. It's all okay. I wanted to talk a little bit more about Moulin Rouge because it did inspire the snowball effect that happened that has now led to me living. I have never been more happy with the way I'm living my life right now. It is so exciting. I'm so happy that I enjoyed my undergraduate so much. I know I'm going to enjoy my medical school time so much, but I didn't realize how much I could also enjoy my gap year journey. I thought that gap years was just filler years until I finally get to go to medical school. And I realized that's not true. You can really, really enjoy your gap years and have the best time. Every year of my life, I want it to be the best time. And if it's not, I want to do things to make sure it is. That doesn't mean that it's always going to be happy, but I want to make sure that I'm enjoying the majority of my life and not just waiting for the next part of my life to start. I want to be present and enjoy the now. And it all started with Moulin Rouge, honestly. I know it sounds crazy, but that's how much musical theater has an impact on my life. I did musical theater in high school as well. I did plays and musicals and stuff. I went to watch it with my sister for the first time, like I mentioned. Then I went an additional 9 times. And the last time I had gone before this past week, where I went the 11th time, was May 8th of 2022. A lot of the original cast was leaving, big members. Aaron Tveit, who played Christian, who is the male lead in Moulin Rouge, he was leaving that day. Ricky Rojas, who played Santiago, he was leaving. Tam Mutu, who played the Duke of Monroth. And Natalie Mendoza, who, she was not part of the original cast, but she had taken over the role of Satine after Kristen Olivero, who played the original Satine, had left. Oh my gosh, it was a very emotional day. That was honestly the best show I have ever seen. A lot of the people there were not first-time watchers. They were people that had gone to see Moulin Rouge a couple times as well. So it was such a wonderful audience. Everyone was cheering and we were all so happy to be there, but also so sad that they were leaving, but also so excited to see these performers go on and do even better things with their careers or spend time with their family or do whatever they wanted to do with their life. We were excited for them, but also we were really sad. It was just a mix of emotions and I think everyone in the audience felt that way. I have not been able to watch this footage since, which is why it's taking me so long to upload this video. And also I wanted to wait until I went to go watch it again with a different cast, just to make it like a full circle moment. I have done that. Derek Klena has taken over the role of Christian. Ashley Loren has taken over the role for Satine. The Duke of Monroth, Declan Bennett, has taken over the role of the Duke of Monroth. Caleb Marshall Villarreal, he has taken over the role for Santiago. They were all wonderful. Also, Ricky Rojas, at the end of the show, he signed all of our playbills, which is right here. This is his signature. I don't know if you guys can see it. He was the kindest soul. I can't even describe how kind this man was. His friends had come to see him, and so he was in the middle of signing and just asked all of us, like, I'm gonna be right back. I just want to say bye to my friends, but I promise I'll come back and sign off your bills, like playbills. It was the kindest thing. The whole people there, they were so sweet. Everyone was handing each other playbills and giving it to him and handing it back. It was just such a nice audience. It was a really great experience. I just wanted to include that little tidbit here. And now I hope you guys enjoy the next section of this video, which is the footage of my day in the life of May 8th of 2022, going to New York City and watching the last show of Moulin Rouge for some of the cast members there.
Up. I don't wanna make my bed, I'll save up all my energy energy. Instead, you take up all the energy I have inside. Cause I can't stop you from running around through my mind. Won't stop running, never will. I'll take some melatonin pills this time. Cause I just wanna sleep.
This would be my uniform.
tonight. Yeah, I just wanna sleep. But lately I've been sleeping way too much.
Oh, that's so pretty.
But I'm not ever wishing on a star. The galaxies won't make you change your heart. Won't make it any easier for me to stop dreaming about you. So I've been getting bags under my eyes. Cause I've been staying up too late at night. Just writing all my feelings out on this page.
Oh my gosh, look at that bag.
That's the first light to this crazy sound. It's better when we keep on going. Don't you ever stop. It's better when we keep on going. Don't you ever stop. Feel the guilt.
I don't know if they could see it.
Restoring joy to our community. And you are all our medicine. And thank you for supporting us and supporting Broadway. And you know, we want to just keep helping dreams come true. So thank you so much.
It's been a very, very hard week. Leaving like I did was very, very tough. I hear it's been a bit of a rock concert tonight. Congratulations to everybody there. To Declan as well, I want to give him a big nod. This past 5 years on this show has been extraordinary. The people you have on stage in front of you, there are people that have come and gone, and all of them are so special. They're all unicorns in their own right. You are all part of it, and you are what makes it special. So thank you to you for all your love this week. Again, I'm so sorry I'm not there, but you know, I can hear how wild it is. So
Ricky Rojas. Ricky originated the Royal Santiago in 2018. He actually is the greatest tango dancer. And he could be the greatest gigolo if he wanted to. He's also a dear friend who has always been the open door for each and every one of us, keeping us calm, making us laugh, and we will all miss him so much. That's me! Can you take a bow?
I'm just gonna take a bow.
Bates. It has been an amazing 5-year journey. He is the definition of a leading man, on stage and off. He's been challenged many times here at Moulin Rouge in the past few years, and he has led by example with grace, passion, and commitment to the work. With grace, passion, and commitment to the work, that is inspiring.
Vowels, because why not? These are out, so I can check. I just want to say thank you. Thank you for supporting the show. Thank you for the love that you've shown all of us. And we've felt so welcome here. We felt even more welcome when we reopened. You're the lifeblood of American theater, coming to support these shows. So thank you so very much.
Thank you, Eric.
Please, once again, give me.
Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Sorry it took so long, but it took me a really long time to rewatch this footage because it was very emotional. But I hope you guys enjoyed and found something inspiring, or I don't even know. I just hope you guys like this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys on the next video on Sunday.